some people take photos and some create magic, and Janice Sarraf is definitely in the second category. A Beirut-based photographer with a heart full of passion and a camera full of stories. Janice has spent years turning life's most precious moments into timeless memories. Specializing in baby photography, she brings warmth, tenderness, and an eye for detail to every shot. Today, we sit down with Janice to uncover the stories behind her lens, her journey as a creative and a mother, and the little joys that make life so special. Let's dive in. Hi, Janice. Welcome to Mariam TV. We're so happy to have you.
Hi, thank you so much, and thanks a lot for this beautiful introduction.
Thank you so much. Can you tell us more about your journey in photography? How did it all begin?
Of course. Actually, it started when I was very young.
Yes.
I got my first camera when I was 7 years old. I fell in love with it, so since I was young, and then I traveled in Italy. I started there my studies. I did a master in photography. Again, I fell in love deeper. And then I came back in Beirut in 2007. I opened my studio, and ever since I got hooked.
Yes. So this is an introduction to your love story with the camera in specific. Let us know what inspired you to specialize in baby photography.
This was the surprise of my life because when I started photography, at first I was doing fashion photography.
Yes.
And when I came back here, I worked for 5 years with like fashion designers, magazines, and our own brands in our group.
Yeah.
So I was never I never thought that I would go into the baby business up until I got pregnant. So
Yes.
we're talking in 2012. So it was something very rare back then. It was not a trend like it is not like nowadays. So I did a lot of research because I wanted to take pictures of my daughter.
Yes.
But I would have never thought doing this as a business. So I started as a hobby for myself. So when I did this, I fell in love with it. And so I started to do it for some friends. And then what started as purely
it turned
fun
out to a business.
turned out to be a
Now,
business.
tell us more about your relationship with babies in general.
I mean, who doesn't love babies? They are pure, they are innocent.
No.
It's a stress-free environment. It's something that is so kind and so sweet. So, I mean, it's a blessing to work with babies, honestly.
Yeah. Janice, you have a different angle in your life. You are a business woman, you are an entrepreneur, you are a senior brand manager at Malia Group, and you are a mother of 3. Tell us more, how do you balance between these different tasks?
Okay, I'm going to tell you, I never thrive for balance. I thrive for presence.
Yep.
So each time I'm doing one of these 3 things, I give myself fully. At the end of the day, it's all about organization and planning the day ahead. So I'm someone who plans everything I do. So if I'm shooting my clients, I am fully there. If I am with my kids, I am fully with them. So I think that in life, we need to plan things in order to give ourselves to the max.
Yeah, which task is the dearest to your heart?
It's hard to say, but motherhood will never replace anything.
Definitely. Your work is infused with positive and inspiring emotions because you are dealing with babies. How do you achieve that through photography?
Exactly. You know, at the end of the day, it's not only about taking pictures. I want my client to feel at ease, to feel safe. I want them to know that I love their baby, I'm taking care of them, because, you know, at the end of the day, they're trusting me with the most precious thing in their life, their baby. So I need to be I need to portray the easiness inside the studio. I need them to feel that they are in the safe environment.
Yes. Tell us more, Janice, about your studio, which was launched in 2007, a long journey ahead. Tell us more about this journey, launching your studio, and all the details that makes your studio so special.
Of course. My studio went into 3 different phases. So in 2007, as I said, I was working in fashion photography.
Yeah.
So I had a studio fully equipped for, we're talking about models, portrait, designers, and so on. And then in 2013, that's when I started to enter into the baby business.
Yeah.
So I had to shift because we're talking about equipment that are very different. We're talking about props as well that are not the same.
Yes.
So I started to create another studio, but that was very small, and it was actually based in Beirut. And after the explosion of Beirut, my studio got destroyed, unfortunately, so I had to start back again.
No.
So I went again, and then I created a new one in 2020, which is the one that I'm using now, and which is my favorite one. It's a really big studio, full of natural light, positive vibe, everything soft, pastel colors. So very like ease for the eyes, and especially for parents to feel comfortable in.
Yes. Do you miss fashion photography? Do you miss like taking photos, random photos, maybe fashionable photos? We can say that you're not far ahead from the fashion world because you are a senior brand manager at Maya Group, which is so related. But do you miss like taking photos for models or the fashion industry in specific?
I don't miss it because I found myself doing what I'm doing now.
Yes.
And I am still in touch with this fashion side, even in my job, not only like by being a fashion buyer with Paul & Shark, but I also, like when I create my setups, I need to follow the trend. So I am still into fashion, like I'm still following up what's the trend now, what are the colors like in, and so on. So I am still like having this
It's related in a way or another.
It is.
Janice, what makes a great baby or family photo shoot? Can you give us like some tips for all the parents that are watching us?
Of course. I often give tips to the parents. If we're doing family shoots, the best thing is to be really simple.
Yes.
Neutral colors, just be yourself. And when we're shooting babies, it's a bit different because we need the baby to feel at ease. So if I'm shooting, like, for example, a newborn, I need him to be fed before the session. I need him to have slept a bit as well.
Yeah.
Even if I'm working with, like, toddlers who are 1 year old, if they are cranky, the session is going to be harder.
True.
So definitely, I always, like, give tips to ease the baby at first, to have him fed and comfy.
Janice, you lost your studio back in 2020 because of Beirut's explosion. Tell us more about the challenges you face as a photographer in Lebanon.
Listen, to be honest, I never felt Lebanon as a challenge. For me, Lebanon is a blessing. Even though we passed through many stages, this is what makes us stronger. So it's true that I lost my studio, but I came back on my 2 feet and I continued. So I think that, like, I see for me Lebanon a source of resilience, inspiration, warmth. I think that's why everybody who leaves this country is always eager to come back because Lebanon is home.
Definitely. Your vibes is so loving and compassionate. You are a happy person in general. How do these qualities shape your journey, your photography, your job in general?
You know, when we work with families, because at the end of the day, my clients are not like agency. My clients are parents, kids, babies. So at the end of the day, I need to show kindness. I need to show sweetness. So if I don't portray this positivity and this happiness, it will be hard to work with them.
Definitely.
And especially I have this, I need to say that I am very lucky to have grown into a family. My parents are both extremely positive, extremely happy, extremely strong. So my sister and I got this from them as well.
Yeah. What inspires you to continue every day? Life is full of challenges and we're not always positive. So what inspires Janice to continue every day?
You know, many things. My kids inspires me a lot because if I see them happy, I am happy.
Yep.
And it comes back also like in the other way. If I am happy, they are happy.
Yes.
So it goes the same with my client. If I see that my client was happy with the result, at night I am so happy. Like I go to bed super happy that I was able to make a family happy.
Yeah.
So if I'm happy, they're happy. If they're happy, I'm happy.
Janice, you've traveled the world. How, seeing new countries inspired your work, the photography, the studio, the journey in photography?
You know, when you are a photographer, you get inspired by everything you see. That's why I love to travel, because I get new ideas every country. Like recently, I traveled with my family and my kids to Africa to do a safari. It was once like one of our favorite trips because it was so rich in experience, in culture. And then I came back here as well with like new ideas, different vision. So traveling is very important to artists.
Tell us more. What ideas are you preparing for your studio, Janice?
It's a surprise. Let me keep it as a surprise, but I can tell you something really, really nice.
Yeah. If you weren't a photographer, Janice, what do you think you'll be or you'll end up doing?
I think I would have started something, but I would have ended up as a photographer because actually I started my studies in Lebanon doing graphic design with a minor in photography, and then I traveled to Italy and focused on photography. So I think that like even if I would have chosen for sure something in design, for example architecture, but at the end of the day
something related to
I
art
would have come back to photography.
It's
I
a
am
long
sure.
journey. Since 7 years old, you've got your first camera. Tell us more about your ultimate photo shoot location.
Only one?
Let's say two.
For sure, my studio, because it's my happy place.
Yeah.
When I enter my studio, I forget everything. Like we're talking when we went through last year, this hard phase with the war.
Yeah.
As soon as my mind entered my studio, I forgot everything. I was focusing solely on taking portraits of babies. So it is really my favorite place to be at any time of the year.
Yeah.
And I love shooting as well outdoor. I love shooting families on outdoor settings.
Yes, tell us more about an unexpected or funniest moment that happened during a photo shoot.
Very funny moment that happened in sets and as well at home because I am a mom of 3 kids. So first I had 2 girls and then I had a boy. So changing diapers with girls and boys are different.
Yeah.
So in my studio at first I had a lot of accidents concerning boys because I was not used to this. So the funny moment was always receiving fluids on myself and moments like this.
Yes. What's one piece of photography equipment that Janice cannot live without?
My camera. My camera is what makes me capture the essence. My camera, I see through my camera.
Yeah.
It's true that I use my eyes, but my eyes go through my camera.
What's your thoughts today on AI?
I love AI, actually. I use AI.
Yeah.
So I'm not someone who will say, I mean, I will always say AI is never going to replace a photographer because at the end of the day, I'm giving emotion to my client.
Yeah.
But I am a photographer who likes to use AI in a good way.
Yes. Janice, you mentioned that your biggest fear is like losing someone you love. How has this influenced your approach to capturing memories and moments?
I think that being a photographer means that you are someone who's very sensitive about life.
Yes.
So if I like to portray everything, I also like to print everything and keep everything like as a memory. So I think it's linked because if I take a lot of pictures of family members, of close friends, it's because I would love to keep them with me forever. So I hope that they will stay with me forever.
Definitely, we hope so.
But if like one day life has to take them away from me, at least I have memories.
Yes. What would Janice give as an advice for aspiring photographers who want to turn their passion into business?
I would say definitely be patient because it takes time. Be kind, use your heart, and most importantly, be yourself because there are so many photographers. But what is going to make you different is if you are yourself from the deep inside and you evoke emotion in your work.
Janice, Sarah, thank you so much for your positive and happy vibes. We wish you all the best in your career as a photographer, as a baby photographer, and in your career as an entrepreneur, senior brand manager at Malia Group. We really loved the interview today and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. مشاهدينا رح نكون مع فاصل وبنرجع.